Hey everybody, it's your buddy's pal Anthony. Today we're going to be doing some work on the Haslab that I've been putting off for a while. We're going to be putting in Frankengeek's Keep Alive mod. I'm going to be installing that talent cell and mounting it on the outside of the pack because I don't want it inside. A lot of horror stories I've been seeing on the news lately about batteries exploding, and I've also been reading online about how some guys, if you forget to shut it off or properly disconnect it, you can fry your pack. I want absolutely none of that, so when it's time to recharge it, I'm going to have it on the outside of the pack and I'm going to be able to completely remove it. This way, if anything gets fried, it's just the talent cell. Other things, I'm going to be doing the wire clamp, as well as replacing all the motherboard screws, as well as the two screws on the side that hold the bumper in place, because the ones that Hasbro provided, every time I unscrew it, I feel like I'm about to strip them out. So, let's get to work. When we come back, I'll pretty much be on the Frankengeek install because you've seen me take the Alice frame and the motherboard on and off enough times by now. Steve, roll that intro, please.
Who you gonna call?
Motherboard is completely off. That is always an annoying process. The yellow terminal on the left was for the battery box on the motherboard. I disconnected that, this way it can be completely away. And now I'm going to be following the Frankengeek instructions. This is actually the snack compartment door, where I know a lot of people have the talent cell in here and then they cut or they buy something off Etsy. Like I said, I'm not really going to do that. I'm going to drill a hole in the motherboard. This way I can put it on the outside. So following the instructions, we took the purple jumper off the wand from the original motherboard, connected it to the Frankengeek. I have the old wand connector connected to the board switch. I'm going to take this connector that came with Keep Alive, I'm going to plug it into the battery terminal here on the original board, and that should allow my talent cell to power everything. But I'm paranoid, it's electricity, it's expensive, it's a toy, I don't want to buy another one, I can't buy another one. So we're reaching out to Dave's Dimension to get just all the confirmation that that's what he did. I'm watching his video too, and I see it in the video, but I'm just going to reach out and phone a friend. I'm also going to take this switch, and I'm going to put it, clean up the wires a little bit. This is the dummy switch on the other side of the pack that doesn't do anything. You can wire it to do different things. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to put this switch in here, in there. And so once the Frankengeek switch is installed here, according to the instructions, you flip on the original power switch, and then you flip on this switch that you installed to get power to the Keep Alive. And I'm assuming that the talent cell should be powered on first before any of that. So we'll see. We connected the power cable. We're going to install the motherboard with the new screws, plug everything in, and see what happens. Talent cell on. Original power switch on. Keep Alive on.
It worked! It worked! It's your ass it works. Whew.
I did say I was going to do a couple of other things, and let me just backtrack a little bit, I guess. I changed my mind midway through, and I forgot to actually film it, so bad on me. Don't worry, Steve's going to beat the crap out of me next time he sees me. But bad on my part, I actually ended up not using the dummy switch that's on the back of the pack that Hasbro had supplied for us. When I was just putting it in, I don't know, I didn't really like the switch there. I can't really explain why. So, as you saw in the video, I relocated the switch to inside the stack compartment, and now it's going to live there. And I apologize, I didn't video me drilling the hole out, but all I did was I took apart the switch, buy a General DeWalt or whatever drill set bit from the hardware store, and I started from not the smallest size, but side by side, I went from a size or two smaller, drilled a small hole, tried putting the switch through. When it didn't fit, don't rush it, don't go too big too soon, just step it up incrementally, and once that thing, gently slides through there, stop, it's fine, and there you go. And that's the same thing that happened down here. I replaced these screws on the bottom of the pack because when I first started taking apart the pack and taking off the motherboard, I thought that these screws had to come off because I just assumed, and you know what happens when you do that these screws were attached to something holding on the motherboard, blah, blah, blah. That's not the case. I didn't have to take these off, and in taking them on and off, I actually, I guess I stripped out the hole a little bit that they go into. So I replaced them with these that you see here. The links are in the description. And same thing. All I did, took a drill bit, put the drill bit on the head of the new screw, went a size or so smaller, drill, try to get it in, a little bit bigger, try to get it in. You don't want to make the hole too big because I'm not doing this properly with like a tap and die set. All I did was I drilled the hole, and once the screw starts to thread in a little bit, that's it. Screw it in on your own after that, and nice and snug, and you never have to touch it again. And I think that they look a lot better than the stock screws that came with it, which you can see here. I replaced the motherboard screws with the black ones you see here. The silver one that you see, the head on that one already started to strip off, and I wasn't even doing anything crazy with it. I took it off a couple times when I did the VHook replacement, when I had to correct the VHook replacement, and then when I put some hot glue on the VHook replacement. So just that couple of times going in and out. I know I was using the proper screwdriver at the size, but as you can see, it just started to strip out. For right now, these black screws, which I found on Amazon, I've had to take the motherboard on and off a couple of times while I was doing the install of the Keep Alive mod. They're working a lot better. I definitely feel like there's a quality difference. When I seat the screwdriver in, I can tell it just catches, and I'm not just ruining this, so that's a good thing to know. Talent cell is down here. It's going to be on my lower left side when I'm wearing the pack. I just like it better. Like I said, I've heard stories lately on the news. I'm sure you all have as well. The lithium-ion batteries just blow up if you overcharge them or anything. There maybe it's just a terrible build quality of the battery. So erring on the side of caution and not wanting to blow up anything, let alone my proton pack, I decided to mount it here, and excuse the loud noise. There you go. 2 Velcro strips, link in the description. I put it on at the same time, like I left them married together, and then just pressed it into place, left it for a day so that the glue can really set. And then, as you saw, just work your fingers under it, this way you don't peel off the back of the Velcro from anything. But this is still very secure on the pack. Another easy change, I got a wire clamp from the hardware store. I used one of the replacement black screws. I did have to build it up a little bit on the bottom here with a couple of washers. Again, I just got some random ones from the hardware store. Also, I think I may have had 1 or 2 sitting around in my basement. I know this isn't how everybody does it, but I like that. It's individual to my pack now that I've done this way to build it up. And I mean, it's not neat, but again, it's individual. I'm not selling this, or not that I'm selling it, but I'm not trying to present this as a pristine, brand new pack. I'm trying to show this as a pack that's, has some miles on it. It's seen some ghost hunts over the years. So we have a shiny new wire clamp, and I'm using one of the motherboard screws to go into the hole provided by Haslab. Now, if you see here on the bottom of the Alice frame, I've gone ahead and I replaced the screws with a screw head with these bolts with a hex head. I just took the regular screw that it came with to my local hardware store. I said, hey, I need a replacement, this length, this thread size. The guy at the hardware store just took it, said, oh, okay, you need these, gave me these two here, and now I have these hex head bolts, which makes it so much easier. I don't feel like I'm stripping the head of the screw. I just take I have actually a set of ratchet wrenches that I haven't used in years, but broke it out for this. Ratchet these on, don't over tighten anything, but it's just so much nicer doing that versus angling the screwdriver all weird and worrying about stripping it. So little improvements that only I care about, but this is what we've done. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to head over to YouTube and search Nerd Affiliated. You can find all of our videos there. You can catch up on our Road to Comic-Con 2024. The Road to Comic-Con 2023, where the real Nerdbusters debuted, is there in all its glory. So go back, see how Steve and I went down the rabbit hole, and come back and see what we're doing this year. Don't forget to head over to nerdaffiliated.com as well. We have a merch store. Get yourself or a loved one the gift of some sweet, sweet Nerd Affiliated merch. Thank you all again. Thank you especially to FrankenGeek. Could not have done this without you, sir. Steve, play us out of here, please.